Welcome to Muddy River Mornings, driven by Hess Auto Agency. I'm Bob Goff.
And I'm Brittany Bull.
And another busy week, a hot week.
It's so hot. It's so hot that our smoothies are melting already. We started our morning off with crazy cakes, smoothies, and for our sweet tooth, a little cookies. So they're keeping it cool and getting their smoothie on with their smoothie menu. They have Strawberry Bomb, Extreme Peach, Wild Berry Blast, Mango Mania, Arctic Lemonade, and we are enjoying the Strawberry Banana.
Yeah, I ordered for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Joy came in and said, "What do you want?" I said, "I think she'd like Strawberry Banana too."
Well, you thought right, so thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
And those chocolate chip cookies look delicious. That one's mine. The peanut butter is Brian's favorite. There's an array of cookies to choose from, and they're always open 7 to 2, Tuesday through Friday, and Saturday from 8 to 2.
Now, those look like Pepperidge Farm chocolate chips,
No.
but I'm betting they're better than Pepperidge Farm. Because Pepperidge Farm has those cookies with the big chocolate chips in them.
Yeah,
I think these are better, probably.
I think so, too.
I would guess so. So, by the way, when we mention the weather, I just want to emphasize that the weather just makes Brittany's hair look amazing.
Oh, my, thank you.
You're welcome. Looks good. So, good work. Good work by you and your hairdresser.
And my hairdresser, I just got it done.
Did you?
Yes.
There you go. Even better. So,
Thanks, Jay.
But anyway, lots of great stuff coming up, and Brittany will get us started.
On our top stories this week, Wednesday night, the Quincy Public School Board met where parents demanded a new investigation that includes the testimonies of all 36 children that came forward after the DCFS reports and initial investigation was conducted by administration within QPS. The parents are also calling for the removal of 2 PE teachers, Kimberly Kirby and Jennifer Odeker, who allegedly spanked students on their birthdays and taped their mouths shut to keep them quiet, reportedly describing it as tradition, and even joking about the kids requesting it. DCFS's November 2024 report deemed the behavior inappropriate but not injurious, noting lack of pain or marks. The school district later concluded practices ceased after November, though some parents insist such incidents continued into spring. Concern was also raised about teachers posting student photos on social media without school approval. Protesters demonstrated outside the meeting on Wednesday wearing tape over their mouths, and 415 individuals have signed a petition calling for teachers to be fired. The
Quincy Plan Commission has approved a special use permit for a 6-story hotel with a rooftop bar, restaurant, and event space at 200 Main, the former site of the Welcome Inn. The proposed 85 to 90 room hotel would exceed the district's typical height limit and now awaits City Council approval on August 4th. St. Louis-based developer New Plus Found, operating as Quincy Hotel LLC, purchased the property for $500,000. They plan to invest $35 million into it and hope to have it ready by the fall of 2027. Supporters say the project will revitalize the long vacant site, enhance riverfront views, and energize downtown Quincy. Brittany would like them to also buy and maintain the median to the north of the site as well, which needs mowing.
19-year-old Cherish Jade Maxwell Riley of Perry, Missouri, appeared virtually in Rawls County Circuit Court on July 22nd and pleaded not guilty to a first-degree charge of endangering the welfare of a child. The charge stems from an incident earlier that day at a local daycare where deputies responded to a call about a non-breathing infant. The victim, a baby under 1 year, was airlifted to St. Louis Hospital with serious injuries, including a fractured skull, brain bleed, and detached retina. Maxwell Riley told officers she had picked up the child forcibly, causing his head to snap backward and allegedly pressed his face into her collarbone. A bond hearing is scheduled for July 28th.
Kathleen Helsebeck, the executive director of the Quincy Public Library, was placed on administrative leave, though the board has not disclosed why, following a special meeting on July 19th that included 2 hours of private executive session and about 20 minutes of public support from the community. Quincy Mayor Linda Moore described the situation as a routine board versus director personnel matter, and she's encouraging patience while the board and Helsebeck work to resolve it, and they hope to have some final answers within 30 days.
What are your kids doing this summer? 10-year-old Washington Tipton is spending his summer as the summer standout at Quincy's 8 Open, working the register, cooking with a step stool, and keeping the dishes clean, all while supporting his trademark big smile and enthusiasm. Son of owner Jared Tipton, Washington calls himself the youngest, the best, and the hardest worker in Quincy. Check out that feel-good story under our Muddy River Vibes section on the news site. It has a great Q&A between Washington and Annie Reller. Also, if your child is doing something big this summer, let us know.
And they can promote themselves like Washington did. Yeah, he's a fun kid.
He is a blast.
He takes our money, and yeah, he's a good kid. So anyway, just to remind you that Muddy River Mornings is driven by Hess Auto Agency, and we'll be back right after this.
Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
Muddy River Engraving has been fantastic to work with, especially when I need something last minute, quickly. Andrew has just been fantastic to get me everything I need in a very quick, effective manner.
We work in a fast-paced industry, so for us, the fact that he personally delivers to it, that's one of the best things, and always comes through ahead of schedule.
What do I love about Muddy River Engraving? I love that Andrew supports the businesses that work with him. We'll see him in here almost every week, and that's nice that two people are helping each other out, pushing each other's product.
Hello, I'm Dr. Arshad Muzaffar, board-certified and fellowship-trained plastic and reconstructive surgeon at Blessing Health. This exceptional young woman is Isabella Peterson. I and my team have cared for Isabella and many children like her born with a cleft lip or palate, or both. The Blessing Health Craniofacial Anomalies Clinic team specializes in cleft lip and palate care and other head and facial bone disorders, known as craniofacial abnormalities. Each year, as many as 1 in every 600 babies is born with a cleft lip and palate. These conditions are treatable right here at home. Blessing's team is one of only 200 in the U.S. and Canada whose care is approved by the American Cleft Palate Craniofacial Association, and the only team within 100 miles. We have the experience, skill, and passion to help your family right here at home. For more information on our care, go to the website on your screen.
Women are exceptional. In the workplace, in the home, in the community, we fill so many roles vital not only to our success, but also the success of those around us. We deserve health care that is as exceptional as we are. Blessing Health meets the varied needs of every woman, from OB/GYN care and breast health to pediatrics for those of us who have little ones in our life. Blessing Health, with you every step of the way.
Welcome back to Muddy River Mornings. On Muddy River News this week, I have the pleasure of reintroducing I should say, to our new executive editor, Michelle McCormack.
I am so excited to have Michelle on board. I look forward to hearing this interview, but what I want to say starting off is, she's an incredible journalist. She, like I said, hit the ground running, coming into Quincy with 2 great stories right off the bat. She hits those hard-hitting questions, and I think I have a little bit of a girl crush now.
Anyway, here's a quick look at my chat with Michelle. So when you and I were discussing you coming aboard, you were still contemplating and looking maybe working for corporate media still. And I hope I did a good job of convincing you that while we don't have all the bells and whistles of corporate media, we still have the same goals to do good journalism.
Well, going back to the technology, back in the day compared to what it is now, you don't need all that equipment. It's very self-contained and get up and go. So the accoutrements of corporate media aren't necessary to do the job. And I even think the more you are free of that, and when it's content over personality, content over imagery and special effects, I feel that it is a quicker way to build trust among viewers. I think viewers really do want to hear directly from the source. It doesn't mean that journalists don't have a role. Somebody has to answer the question, somebody has to make sure the microphone's working, the camera's working, that it gets out on YouTube, that it gets out on the website. But it doesn't have to be where the reporter interjects himself into the story, which was sometimes the requirement as I continued to travel around and look for meaning in life, all right? So I went, after Quincy, I went to Wichita, I went to Kansas City, Missouri, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Very honored, though. I mean, I was on the front lines of the recount in Florida. In 2000, you know, we started in Tallahassee, West Palm, Miami, back to Tallahassee. I was very honored to do that. Honored to cover the Columbia shuttle disaster in Nacogdoches, Texas, to see how, again, salt of the earth people protected that debris, knowing that it was sacred because lives had been lost. You know, to witness that, to report on that was an honor and a blessing.
Now we're going to hear from our friends at Rober and Phillips, and always great information from those guys who can take care of all your legal needs.
In the American legal system, attorneys counsel and represent the people for a better way of life. The law firm of Rober and Phillips are there for you.
Nick, it's getting to be summertime. They're going to be putting up these DUI checkpoints. What do I need to do, or what do I need to be aware of if I'm going through one of those late at night and maybe I've had one too many to drink?
Well, that's a good question, Tyler, because the state and the public has an interest in keeping intoxicated persons off of the road in operating motor vehicles. So a lot of people in Quincy wonder about these DUI checkpoints. What are your rights? How do they work? So DUI checkpoints are technically legal if they meet certain requirements. Number one, they must be systemic. That means that if the police are setting up a DUI checkpoint with uniformed officers, they must pull over either every car or every other car or every 3 cars, but they cannot be random. And this is so people don't believe that they're being arbitrarily pulled over or singled out. They must be systemic. Secondly, if a law enforcement officer smells the odor of alcohol or has any reasonable articulable suspicion that you have been intoxicated while operating a motor vehicle, further investigation is warranted. Now, think twice before you do a U-turn approaching a DUI checkpoint, as this may be probable cause to pull your vehicle over for further investigation as well.
For more information, contact the law firm of Rober and Phillips.
Welcome back, and now it's time that Brittany gets to talk about her favorite podcast, and I'm mad at her because it doesn't include me, so go ahead.
My favorite podcast is Frankie and the Clits because it's always entertaining and a good time for Mike and I sometimes to just put it on the big screen. We like to stream it and, you know, eat some popcorn while watching it. On Frankie and the Clits this week, both Frank and Clits are in a bad headspace, thinking of horrible ways to die. Also, what is your least favorite holiday? For Clits, it's New Year's Day. For Frank, it's Christmas. Okay, Scrooge. And what's the dumbest thing out there right now? Hobby horsing. All this and more on our always entertaining podcast, Frankie and the Clits.
And be sure to watch Frankie being all flustered when he meets Michelle for the first time. That's quite entertaining as well. Coming up on Business Spotlight, Ron sits down with the owners of The Modern Portrait, Alex and Cindy Sanders, to discuss the operations of their photo booth, the technology behind the system, and what makes their experience different from the rest when you want to have your picture taken at your big event.
Later today on Club Muddy, we sit down to chat about the QPS board meeting. And then we hear from our guest who has first-hand experience with the education system. He's made a huge career change and now has aspirations to run for the school board in light of the recent actions or lack thereof from the board with the Denman debacle. Native Quincy and Brandon Van Camp will join us on the club.
Earlier this week, Mayor Moore joined Ashley from her return from Hereford, Germany in our Minutes with the Mayor, brought to you by Mercantile Bank. They discussed the recent city communication changes, Jeffrey Conte's rise as the Spielberg of Facebook Live. Brittany made me say that, I'm sorry. And also all the new road construction, the map coming on in Quincy, so it tells you how to avoid everything, and also more on the Quincy Public Library.
On the Daily Muddies this week, Ashley spoke with Amy Peters from the Quincy Children's Museum to hear the latest updates and upcoming events. If you have small children, definitely check that one out. The Children's Museum was the recipient of a free reverse osmosis system from Eco Water here in Quincy, which ties in with my water article this week. That's my shameless plug. And a reminder to think about what is in your water. Ashley also sits down with a slew of other guests throughout the week, which included Craig Hemming from Kiwanis to chat about Ken Bigelow Day. You can find all these interviews and all the Daily Muddy interviews on Muddy River TV.
Muddy River Cribs also dropped earlier this week. We visit the posh palatial estate of Randy and Marcy Phillips. Anyway, Brittany and Randy take you on a tour of Randy's crib, a 19th century barn converted into their humble abode. Seriously, this place it looks like South Fork Ranch. So anyway, we've got this, we got fair coverage, all kinds of good stuff.
And don't forget that Bob's interview with Michelle, News This Week, will drop this Sunday.
And now it's time for what?
Sports with Shuck, brought to you by Neiman's.
Well, happy Friday, Muddy Buddies. Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman here. It is the dog days of summer. It's hot outside. It's the end of July, and everybody's getting excited about the fall sports season. So we're going to kick it off next week. We got some special Shuck on a Trucks planned with our area college football coaches, so that we can get you up to speed with what's going on with each of those programs before they start training camp. WIU is the first one to kick off its fall preparations next Thursday, actually. So we're going to sit down with Joe Davis, the WIU head football coach, and get his take on where the Leathernecks are heading into year 2 of his tenure as head coach. We're also going to chat with Quincy University football coach Jason Kilday and Culver Stockton coach Tom Sally. So we're going to get you across the board, make you prep for a college football season. And then we'll be moving closer to the start of high school football and other high school fall sports, soccer, volleyball, golf, tennis. So we'll get you covered on all of those. All those teams start practice August 11th. So we'll be delving into all of that as we move forward. Starting today, our series on the greatest sports moments in Adams County history begins. I dug into the archives. I looked for unique moments. I didn't want it to just be about state champions or individual accomplishments. What makes a moment special? So I dug into the archives and came up with 5 that I think are really special to help celebrate the bicentennial of Adams County. So make sure you check that out. Beginning today, we've got 5 pieces that will run throughout the next week, probably every other day. So make sure you check those out. I got a column online from yesterday explaining kind of my process of what I went through in picking those moments. And then 1 week from today at 8 a.m., August 1st, we got a very special announcement coming up about what's going to happen with the future of Muddy River Sports. We got some really exciting things planned and a big announcement coming up. So 8 a.m., August 1st, you can check out our announcement right here at muddyriversports.com. We'll have it online, ready to go. But a pretty big announcement that I think everybody's going to be interested in, and really looking forward to what the future of muddyriversports.com holds. And this announcement has a big part of that. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you go online. Make sure you check out muddyrivernews.com, muddyriversports.com, muddyriver.tv.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
With the weather this week, I had the chance to head out to the Adams County Fair.
I noticed you did it on my day off.
It was pre-fair day. That was when they wanted to do it. I'm sorry. But that worked out best because Brent Clare is at the fair. He has a camper out there.
Really?
Yeah, he stays out there all week, and he's busy. He's like their weather guy. He drives tractors around. He does all kinds of stuff.
Good for you, Brent.
He does a ton of stuff out there. But I was able to talk to him and Nathaniel Jones to tell you how hot it's going to be at the fair this weekend.
Fair weather joke.
Fair weather joke. Well, it is fair weather, you know. Sure. So, yeah. It's like,
okay.
Yeah.
So why is life always better at the top of a Ferris wheel?
At the top of the Ferris wheel, you got me there. It's fair weather.
I'm Nathaniel Jones. This is Brent Clare. And the reason why it's called the air up there, it's the
weather out there,
because the height difference, right? This is the one time a year. This is the second annual forecast from the fair.
That's right.
You can sell the height differences. Now, are you a fan of the Ferris wheel, or is it too high up for you?
I prefer airplanes.
Okay.
I prefer something I control, not some that we won't go there.
Going back and forth. So, first morning as we kick off kind of the fair, what's going on behind it?
So this is the pre-fair. This is the actual 4-H judging show of all the general projects. So you have your woodworking, your flowers, baking and stuff like that. So that's where the kids take off, and this is where they get to really show their skills for the year. So, but this is kind of the pre-show. Later on today, we'll start taking projects for the open show. It's the same thing as this, except we'll do it for the main fair, and that starts judging tomorrow. And then we have horse shows tomorrow, and then Queen Pageant tomorrow night. It just really takes off after this. So this is kind of a nice, dip your toe in the water day, make sure everything kind of works, everything like that. So it's a good day to be out here. So.
And a good day because it's somewhat cooler this morning with a breeze.
Nice breeze blowing right now. It's been funny. We've been talking about this, and I was going back to about a month ago. We said we were going to get those hot temperatures, and they never really happened, right? Well, we're not going to quibble about that. It hasn't been as hot. We're not going to complain about that. If we can keep the temperature down, a little bit of the breeze, and it's kind of been overcast the past few days, it won't nearly be as bad. Now, that being said, humidity is still there. So we're still going to have to worry about heat in the seas being in the hundreds or so. But if we can keep the breeze and the sun down, maybe not as blistering as it was supposed to be. So because we were supposed to be 95 today, and we might get up to 90. So 5 degrees makes a big difference.
People expect to come out in the evenings when most of the high, profile events are. What's the chances for rain as the humidity builds during the day? What are you seeing later in the week for rain?
Well, we are in that atmosphere where, you can get those pop-up showers to happen. We've been having those all, last week we had those crazy showers that would pop up and put down 2 inches of rain in sometimes places. Don't see that really for this week. I'm hoping we can keep the big rains away. Anything I see them more in the mornings. We'll have probably storms form out to the west and then move across during the morning, early mornings. So hopefully we can keep the rain away for the main events. Of course, now it is just a little tacky around here. We look at all the mud and ruts here, which is not a bad thing, but just remember that in your parking lots that always be aware of mud floors and everything like that. So, but we will have people there to pull you out if necessary. So,
so if people don't have a specific event to attend, what is Brent's pick day of the week to come out to?
Oh goodness! I mean, there's so many. So I have.
You gotta pick one.
I won't be a cat and promote a certain food stand that I help run and everything like that. You might not want to be around me on certain days when I smell like a pig because, well, I'm around the pigs. On Friday or Saturday and Sunday, you might see me on a tractor parading one around here. But there's a lot of good options, and we got a new one this year. It's called the Figure 8 Derby.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to that. It's a little bit of a challenge where you actually have to do your figure 8, but then avoid crashing into the corners and then in the intersection. So I think it's going to be a fun one.
It's like the first time in like 40 years, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
This
6 or something like that?
Maybe before that. It's been a long time since we've had that. So it's really exciting to see that on Thursday night. And then we moved the bronc busting to Friday night now. So we're going to have a bigger night of rodeo action on Friday. Good concert coming up, Sarah Evans and Mark Wills. That's going to be a great show. They always go on 2 days of tractor pulls and then always end with the demo. It's going to be a great week at the fair, and it starts today, so we're looking forward to it. Temperatures, like I said, going to be a little warm, but there's plenty of concessions that will gladly serve you some fresh lemonade shake-ups or some nice cold sodas or tea with lemon, whatever you want. We got it all.
So stay hydrated, enjoy your favorite night of the fair, and maybe bring an extra shirt. Might be a little sweaty.
Never hurts to bring another shirt. So it's a 3-shirt day for me.
Again, thanks to our friends at Farm and Home Supply for sponsoring How's the Weather Up There, and lots of great stuff going on this weekend.
Wait, did you enjoy your lemonade shake-up?
It was really good, but I had the one. I'll probably have another one. If I drank like 2 of those at one time, I'd get a bad stomachache.
I think anybody would.
But they're delicious.
Pure sugar greatness.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Okay, so tonight, Blues in the Park returns with Dottie Kelly for his soulful summer night. Local eats from JKW Barbecue and Your Mama's. Your Mama. Along with frozen treats from TCBY. And family fun with Blessing Health and Quincy Children's Museum. The music starts at 5:30. Bring your lawn chairs and your beer to Washington Park for a good time. Blues in the Park is put on by the District in Quincy.
Or bring your wine or Cavassier, whatever you would like to have. So the Adams County Fair we talked about earlier, I talked about that great lemon shake-up. They also sell cold beer in the beer garden, don't forget that. The most asked question on Messenger for the fair was, what are your carnival details? So you can go to adamscountyfair.org, get all your information, and of course the big country music concert with Sarah Evans and Mark Willis coming up Saturday night. So get your boot scooting going.
It says, Bob, bring your boots and get your suds in a bucket.
What's that mean?
That's Sarah Evans' big hit.
I thought it was hole in a bucket.
It's suds in a bucket.
The hole in the bottle of wine, that's not her?
I mean, I'm sure that one is too, but...
No. I kind of have this gap on country music. I'm really good 80s country up to Garth and George Strait, then everything else is kind of murky at best.
I think this will be an amazing show, though.
I
They
think
did
it
a
will be
really
too.
good job getting those people. Mark your calendars for the Crosstown Showdown. The scoreboard, along with Muddy River Engraving, are bringing back the fundraiser for QHS and QND athletic programs. August 16th is the date. Come rock on York with the band Members Only as the featured band, food trucks, merch, and a great cause. Who will win, QHS or QND?
No racing at Quincy Raceway Sunday night because of the Adams County Fair. They didn't want to conflict those two dates. But the Mars Racing Series will return on September 14th. They've had this thing rained out twice. Speaking of rainouts, in 2026, they're going to move Quincy Raceways to Friday night, so you have the built-in rain day. So no racing this weekend. We'll see you a week from Sunday out at Quincy Raceways. And, of course, we have all those stories about Quincy Raceways by our own Stevie Dirt, and you can find those on Muddy River Sports.
Do you have a question about sex that you don't want to ask your doctor face-to-face? Here's an opportunity to have those answered without embarrassment. Submit your questions for our Areas of Sexpertise podcast with Leah Hemming of the Sexual Wellness Clinic. And our very own Aspen Gingenbacher, it can be, the entries can be anonymous, and you submit them to agingenbacher@muddyrivernews.com. I have this up here so you can write that down.
You've also got, you can also submit your questions on a Google Doc, I think we have on there, and we can get that for you too. So anyway, if you want to do that, and again, we want to thank Leah Hemming for participating in this and kind of helping broach a subject that I know makes people blush a little bit, like me. So. Well,
I think that does it.
I don't know, you got me all flustered with all this stuff. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, it is a great weekend. Go enjoy the fair. Enjoy blues. Get out there. Let's hope it's not too hot and not too rainy, and have another great weekend here in Quincy.
I'm going to go enjoy my chocolate chip cookie. Bye.
And your smoothie. Bye.